Hello, everybody. Welcome to FSP. This is episode number 13. I appreciate you guys being here in the chat. Hello to all these awesome faces. As well as, hey, we didn't have Xbox Ultimate last night. I had some things that had to get done. So apologize to anybody who's looking forward to that show. But we are here on a Saturday for FSP, and we're going to have some fun because we have a very fun guy to be on the show. As somebody that have been wanting to have on Xbox Ultimate for a while, and just Friday nights are no bueno for this man at all. So it's like, hey, King, we got other shows too. We got FSP, we got PM and the PM. Hey, you pick, man, you pick. And he's like, hey, let's do the Saturday. Like, let's go. And I was like, hey, let's do it, man. Like, and I'm super honored to have royalty here. And also a lord as well, and one and only King David, man. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here, man.
Well, thank you for having me. I love your room. I love your room as well, sir. We'll get to your rooms. Fuzzy, come on, man. Where's the camera at, bro? You know my whole rule is where's the camera at, bro? And I'm not gonna jump on you right now because you didn't know. And I love you absolutely so much because you have the Twitter and everything. You're fantastic. But the camera, bro. I'm a stickler for that because these dudes have some awesome stuff going on in their background, and it's an eyegasm to be serious.
But I told my wife, orgasmic as your statues, King.
Listen, you know what? Everybody's a lord and a king in their own realm. That stuff is phenomenal for you. My stuff is phenomenal for me. His stuff is phenomenal for him. Trust me. I'm in awe of your stuff as well. Trust me. I see the meticulous way that you put stuff together. The posters, the background, the stuff looks fantastic. The PC looks incredible. Those controllers that's in the background, is that like a poster that you did? What's going on back there? Please explain that to me because I wanted to ask you, but we were talking about COVID. What's going on back there, sir?
No, I went to Home Depot, grabbed some of those boards you put up in the garage. I was like, let's be creative. I love collecting my controllers. I actually have my other 3 PlayStation controllers that will be here next week. And I don't know, to me, it's just an art,
It's beautiful.
It's an art, and people that make these controllers put their lives into it, the design, the sweat, the tears. And to me, this is my art. This is my art, and I think I probably need to put up about 3 more.
3 more boards soon. Or 3 more controllers?
3 more boards. No, 3 more boards.
Yeah.
Just to get ready for the future, because now that Sony trying to do what Xbox been doing with the controllers and the customizations and stuff, I think they're gonna start, tick for tech with each other, So, and I want to try and keep up. Only regret I have is when the Sea of Thieves controller came out, I did not get it. And when I thought about it, like 2 weeks later, I went back to get it. It was sold out. Man, they want $300, $400, $500 for that controller.
Wow, man. Yeah, I guess it pays to get in on those things early, then, right? I mean, geez,
those customs very early. It's. We had an interview, Iron Lord's podcast. We had an interview with the on site. It wasn't even. It was a impromptu interview with the maker of the Elite controller right before the Elite 2 was coming out. And, we talked about all the stuff, and we gave him our gripes about what we felt about with the Elite 1 and all the problems. And actually, to be honest with you, all the stuff that he did talk to me, it wasn't just fan service. They actually fixed that stuff in the Elite 2 because I got the Halo Edition Elite 2 controller. And I was like, man, this dude was spot on with everything that he said.
And you know what? That hurts because I did pre-order the Elite 2 Halo Edition.
Yeah.
And it got canceled. I have no idea. It got canceled. The controller got canceled. I have no idea what happened.
Oh,
no idea. And again, it's one of the things you can't find it.
No, that thing is. I was very lucky early on because we was doing the live reveal of the stuff, and then somebody hit me in the DMs with a portal, and I was just flew into the portal as quickly as possible.
Yeah, because I pre-ordered that and the Xbox Halo Edition. I got lucky enough to pre-order both of them, but again,
did you get the console or?
I did not. I ended up canceling it because that's where my other computer went out.
Oh,
I
you
think
got
I was
the
talking to
PC
you about
instead.
it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up spending the extra money getting a PC,
Yeah.
My wife, she woo, I could hear her now.
Yeah.
If I would have picked up both them, she would
Yeah.
have been like, what the hell? You spent how much? I could hear it now. So
A PC and an
it's one
Xbox.
PC, what the hell? You're sleeping with him?
Yeah.
Like
Trust me, she controls me because I told her I'm doing a podcast on Saturday. She's like, I know what means. Like,
you go. I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
boy, that's the only person that controls me in the world.
I wait till like right before we're about to fall asleep till I tell my wife I'm going to be on a show the next day, just because I know she's too tired to give me too much of a problem about it. Like, oh, I forgot to tell you. Oh, shit, I forgot she's listening right now.
See,
I grew up in the age of Al Green. I don't ever tell a woman anything right before we in bed.
There you go, baby. There you go.
It's like
you learned early.
Passing
Yes,
out,
that's right.
Both about to fall asleep. I can hear her start to breathe a little bit heavier, and I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, babe, I'm gonna be on a show tomorrow.
No. There's a couple of places that you don't give news like that to. The kitchen.
And there you go.
Oh,
there you go. Number one.
While she's driving.
Yeah. Number two.
and at a family function.
Oh, when she's working in the kitchen, like if she's doing something in the kitchen, it's like you don't want to speak at all. You know what I mean?
You see how my wife cooks.
My wife,
man.
she
see
good.
How she down.
Yeah,
she good. She'll. My wife would think, like I would start talking to her, and she'd be like, and I'm like, okay. and then like I'm in the middle of the night, she will wake me up. Oh no, I'm not done with you. Like what?
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Oh my god,
Like,
those are the worst.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no. Don't get into an argument and sleep in the other room. Oh, absolutely no. You come to bed.
Exactly.
You come to bed.
Those are tough conversations to have when you're like half asleep.
I can't.
Anyways, hey guys, as well as the one and only King David, we also have Key here as well as always. And thanks for being here, man. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I had a little hiccup this week that oh man, I had a crazy week. Let me just put it like that. I was at work the other day last week and my leg went out on me.
Oh man.
Oh no.
I'm an amputee on my left leg. I got a below knee amputation done a few years ago.
Sorry,
it's literally one of the best things that's could have happened to me. 10 surgeries later, I decided to get amputated. But I'm still doing the work I do, love doing it, driving me crazy, but it is what it is. And last week I took a step and I heard a loud crack. I kind of went down and I had to get this leg replaced and fixed. But besides that, I've been doing good dealing with that. We got hit with like 18 inches of snow. So I've been in the house.
Where do you live?
Michigan.
Oh
Michigan.
my God.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Coldest place in the world.
Man, I'm telling you, it's funny because we got hit with the snow and it was like 32 degrees. And then when the snow was over, it dropped down to like -3.
Oh God.
Wow.
So it was like back to back. So I've been in the house all week.
Yeah.
But besides that, I'm doing good. I'm always happy to get on here, kick it with you guys, talk games. That's what we love doing. And I'm ready. King, appreciate you, man, coming on here. I've been following you on Twitter, and look, this is the first time I actually get to communicate with you. Yeah. Besides laughing at them jokes you be putting out on Twitter.
Yo, listen, Mav knows there's certain people in the community that I mess with, right? And he knows. Like he called me on to do a little snippet thing with me and Cog on some other stuff that he was putting together, and every time I check out his channel, everything is positive. Everything is, for the community. Everything is uplifting. Everything is good. He doesn't even know I check out some of his late night Halo sessions that I just like I'm in bed, and if you see like your stream go up by like one number, it be me in bed looking at you. But
Right
I'm on YouTube, so I don't be on my phone. But I'm down for his stuff. So when he said that he had a spot, he was looking for a spot, I said I gave him my days, what I'm able to work with. And I know Saturday is like really a no for me, but I'm running past the wife and she was like, yeah, go ahead, definitely. So
well, super appreciate it, man.
Viewer right now, man.
Yeah, I love energy. So it's important for me, just like it's important for me to get people that I respect on the show, right? And also like to have a good time. Keep that. I mean, you get messy a little bit sometimes on Twitter, right? But it's always in a fun way. It's never in like a negative,
never
attack,
disrespectful, man.
disrespectful way. You know what I mean? And when it comes to like personal stuff between other people, you always keep that stuff out of it. It's always about the stuff that we're talking about. And honestly, most of the time, you're right. You know what I mean?
They don't like me.
It is what it is.
They don't like.
You know, like you gotta
like
if you're speaking the truth, you're not really trolling that much. You know, right. So, but as well as the amazing Key, we also have our other regular panel member here, the one and only Fuzzy Belvedere. Thank you for being here as always, sir. Felix the cat, how you doing, man?
Thank you for having me, guys. And I do apologize. No camera yet. I'm still working on my setup here, but we'll definitely make a better effort to get that all resolved here soon. But so happy to have King David on here. Watch everything from his statue shows to Iron Lords on Sunday. Man, it's just awesome to have him here.
Thank you.
But man, oh man, there's just so much good gaming news that's been going on these past few weeks. A few, I won't say eyesores, but like some random people on TikTok, complaining about Microsoft. But other than that, things have been just awesome. And man, I can't wait to get to these topics. And so glad to have King David here. Man, it's awesome being here today.
I was talking to Mav in the background about the statues. I was like, I'm supposed to unbox 3 statues today. So I already unboxed Lady Death from XM. And I'm in the middle right now of unboxing Planet Hulk from XM Studios, and after that I'm gonna unbox Ultron. So the videos is inbound. I was just working on a new intro and stuff like that for that stuff to come up. So
nice. But, we'll look forward to that, man. I've checked out some of those videos as well that you have, and man, some of those statues are just absolutely insane. Like the detail and like it's the artistry that it's like motion come to life in a lot of them. You know what I mean? So it paints a picture. It's like a comic, come to life. It's kind of what it is.
Yes, and I'm a huge comic book junkie.
Yeah, right on, man. But hey, guys, let's get into some of these topics because this is FSP and we got some stuff to talk about. So we'll start off with this. There was some interesting things happened. We got a major acquisition from PlayStation of acquiring Sony Interactive Entertainment and acquiring Bungie. And this was a pretty big deal for them. Numbers wise, it goes down as 3.6 billion. Supposedly, I guess it's like 2.4 with like 1.2 coming years after with incentives to retain employees after the deal goes through. But however you slice it, at the end of the day, it's still $3.6 billion is being spent to acquire this company as long as everything boils down to coming through on that. So, man, there was some interesting comments. And as far as like the whole deal of acquiring a company, that doesn't surprise me a whole lot, right? I think that Bungie is probably looking to be acquired in this market currently. There was rumors that they've been shopping around to Microsoft before and got turned down by Microsoft at that point because they wanted too much money at the time. And then it goes on to, hey, finally they found a match with Sony. It's supposedly been in a deal in the works for like 5-6 months. But the thing that surprised me was not necessarily the deal happening, but some of the statements that have come out in the articles and the interviews and all these things from them with talking about the future of the company and the direction in which they're headed. And this is one of the reasons it's actually awesome to have King here, because I already kind of am familiar with some of your thoughts on this, which have been predicted well before I even read these articles and stuff relating to this acquisition. But they use the word multi-platform a lot in the future of PlayStation, right? It's not just related to Bungie. They're relating it into the future of PlayStation. And even with an interview with Jim Ryan, he says, you guys already know, we have been saying that we are going multi-platform. And I'm like, wait a second. Nobody's talking about this. Like nobody's speaking on this sentence that this man who's like in charge of PlayStation just said that we are going multi-platform. And it kind of makes me question, like, what does he mean by that? When is that happening? Because, you know, does he just mean PC and PlayStation, or does he have other aspirations? And right now they're not making that really clear. They're just using a word that can be interpreted in many different ways. So we'll start with King. What do you think they mean by multi-platform and their future?
He was very clear in the wording. It said rival consoles. It's absolutely in black and white. It's very clear. So if somebody doesn't want to read that very clear statement, it said rival consoles. That, I mean, listen, Jim Ryan is a money man, you know, and I got a lot of flack, you know, from the PlayStation community for, you know, giving him nicknames like Dance Moves Jim and
Lion
Jamaican
Ryan.
Jim. Yeah. And so, you know, the thoughts behind it is, first of all, I told dudes when they hired him as the head of the PlayStation brand, he was there to clean up the backyard. And I've always thought that he was making PlayStation and Sony books clean to be sold. And I still stand behind the statement. Right? Because when he went to Europe, he consolidated everything, fixed the books, fixed the studios, fixed everything over there. The moment that he got in, Sean Layden was out. PlayStation Now was $6. Or they dropped it to 10 something, but he dropped the price.
Right.
Automatically. Right off the rip. First day on the job, buy. One guy's out, next guy's in. Then you start looking at certain acquisitions. You look at Nixus. Nixus, and that's my heart. Nixus' sole job is to port games over to the PC.
Yeah.
So if I'm hiring you and your DNA is PC entertainment and how to get and facilitate our games there quicker than the cadence that we're doing now, then that must be our mission statement now. So with the purchase, or is it a partnership with Bungie? Because you tell me, I don't know how many of you guys here said, hey, I'm gonna give a ring to my wife, we're gonna get married, and she can still go sleep with everybody else that she's been with. Hell to the no. That is not exactly what we're doing here. And they raised that proposition to Microsoft, and don't tell me, oh, they asked for too much money. We have already seen Microsoft doesn't care about the cash part because the cash part doesn't matter, but it's who you're loyal to and what that means. Right. So was Bungie pushing the hard line that we still want to be multi-plat and we still want to go all over the place? Because they were inside Game Pass for a year.
Yeah. And
they were giving all their DLC for in Game Pass for a year. So there was talks. We saw them booed up. We thought they were right back at the situation because as soon as she came from Activision, she slid right back to Microsoft. So again, is this a partnership or is this the acquisition? Was Sony desperate in exactly what they were offering that they took this deal? I don't believe so. I believe Sony saw their mission statements align with their mission statements. You make games as a service. You're very successful. Excuse me. You have a huge fan base, very dedicated, loyal patrons that follow you from every iteration of this same title. And they purchase at a cadence per month. And every time DLC drops, you know, DLC drops, we swoop back in, we play for a couple of months, and we swoop back out. DLC drop, I'm right with you. We swoop in, we play. Sony sees this reoccurring money, and they need their expertise in this area. Now, Sony's biggest deficiencies was multiplayer online games, first-person shooters.
Yeah.
You single-handedly knocked out your biggest deficiencies in one swoop. So yeah, I can see the PlayStation dudes running in the street screaming. I can see some goofy dudes talking about we got Halo.
Can't get that one at all.
That was surprising, man. Like seeing these people that you see all in these like chats all the time, you know, and they're always like, hey, act like they know what they're talking about and talking crap and stuff, you know. And then they will go out there and the first thing they say after this goes down is like, oh, we got Halo on PlayStation. It's like, man, you guys don't pay attention to anything.
No,
like,
they don't.
I think the Crash Bandicoot thing kind of got them shook. They were in their feelings on that, and they're like, "Oh, we got to get them back." Oh, yeah, this must have been that Master Chief.
They think it's a war.
Yeah,
you know, the Sony, it's not a war. You're talking about $1 trillion company versus $1 billion. It's not a war. Somebody purchases a complex, and you guys purchase an apartment. Bungie was an apartment inside the complex of Activision. They got evicted. Or they left. They didn't pay their rent. Whatever. They're gone. Microsoft brought the whole building.
Yeah.
You got to understand how they're playing this game here. But back to Sony and where their mission is, they told you, we got 25 games in development. 10 of those games is games of service. This is telling you where they want to go. Jim Ryan told you you're not enough. What he means is he wants exactly what Microsoft wants as far as that bag. You know what's the real problem? What's really holding Sony back? And people hate when I say this, is the hardware. You're having a problem right now getting your hands on a PlayStation 5, and that's bothering the hell out of everybody inside Sony, to be honest with you. Yeah. And research and development is probably bothering the hell out of them.
They just had to lower their forecast again on sales.
Exactly. $25 billion out the window.
Yep.
Do you think investors want to hear that? So they look over to Jim like, how are you going to fix this? Games of service, I got you. We can get this money going. We can get these games out there. We can get these games to the people. They're not enough, Jim. Well, we do have PC. There's a reason why MLB The Show is on Game Pass day and date this year too. You thought it was a one-off last year. Somebody said, when did they start changing? It happened already.
Yeah. It was crazy because, you know, to launch the PS5, the messaging was so different, right? Because they were selling to their core, right? They're selling to their hardcore fans, hey, you need to go get this console, and here's the reason why, right? They're spreading one message while it seems like behind the scenes, we need to get everything in place for where we're actually going, because we're not going to leave these, what Microsoft calls 3 billion gamers out there just to be consumed by them, right? Like the traditional model, I feel, King, is kind of, it has its place, but it's capped. Right? You're only going to sell so many $500 boxes, right? And if your ecosystem only exists within that, it only has so much room for growth, right? You're not going to evolve past that console space, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this, and I'm going to get a couple takes on this, guys. But first, real quick, Mr. Join the Dark with a $5 super chat. I appreciate you. It says, good evening, fellas. Love today's guest and ready to enjoy a good show. Heck yeah. And Lord Ruffness with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you as well, sir. Lord Ruffness says, I'm sorry I owned a PS4 and hardly played it. Now with PS5, pretty much copying what Xbox is doing. Tell me why I should get a PS5. Hashtag Xbox for the win. Yeah, Lord Ruffness is obviously an Xbox fan. But
I can tell by the picture.
So I'm going to read this statement. This was an interview right after with GameIndustry.biz. Okay. Right after the acquisition. So this is from Jim Ryan himself. I've been on record talking about increasing the size of the PlayStation community and expanding beyond our historic console heartland. This can take many forms. And definitely one of the main ones is the ability for the wonderful games that we've been making over the past 25 years to be enjoyed in different places and played in different ways. We are starting to go multi-platform. You've seen that. We have an aggressive roadmap with live services 10 by 2026. They said that later. And the opportunity to work with and particularly learn from the brilliant and talented people from Bungie that is going to considerably accelerate the journey we find ourselves on. This one statement is just crazy. It's just hearing this come out of PlayStation's mouth. We are starting to go multi-platform. You've seen that. If I would have told you like 3 years ago that, well, what if they said that right before the PS5 came out and just a statement, we are starting to go multi-platform. Like, what would the reaction be? Like, nobody's talking about this. The fact that this is the language being used here. They're talking about Bungie and being excited for Bungie, and this is in my opinion, it's honestly a good thing, right? Because it means we get more competition from PlayStation, and we're going to get more variety of games and stuff coming from them. But the PlayStation is changing dramatically, right? They're moving from that Nintendo style model more into the Xbox style model, right? And maybe somewhere in between, but they're going pretty heavy in that side right now, right? With the shift. Fuzzy, I will go to you on this, man. Like, define multi-platform. Like, what does Jim mean? He says we're starting to go multi-platform. What does that mean?
From the most simplest standpoint, it means more than just a PS5 box itself. So definitely PC.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they look at like MLB as being on multiple devices as well, including the competition's devices. I don't know if they're quite ready to do that with some of their games, but a multiplayer game, something that's a live service, I could totally see them looking to do that. One of their single player games, though, it's hard to say just yet if they're going to go full boat, and you see that like in Game Pass or something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised for down the road. Once I remember King David talking about like they might wind up going the Sega route, where at some point they wind up being a third party, developer or studio in that regard. But it's definitely, they're looking at PC, and I'm kind of surprised they're not at the day and date just yet, especially considering they just did the release for Uncharted and The Lost Legacy. It's still not on Steam. They have a placeholder on Steam, but it's still not purchasable on Steam. So it kind of has me, a little boggled or whatever. But yeah, I think they're looking beyond the PlayStation 5 box itself, or even the PlayStation 4 box, because those two combined, let's just say on a most generous estimate, is 150 million units out there. And we know that a lot of people are buying multiple consoles. We know a lot of scalpers have them still in their basement. So that doesn't necessarily mean that there's 150 million purchasing customers out there. So
what was it, like 20% or something, or probably sitting in
25% hasn't been turned on.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there's that much that hasn't been activated or used or game purchased, they got to look at other avenues. And Microsoft was already ahead of the game on that with, expanding to the PC platform. So if they do that same deal, that gives them a lot more opportunity. And I'm kind of surprised they don't have like a PS Plus or PS Now app on their TVs. I mean, yes, their TVs are not, top tier. Like, well, they're still top tier, but they're not as popular as they once were. Samsung and LG have kind of taken that crown at this point. But I'm kind of surprised they haven't even looked at least that avenue to get more of their games in people's hands that can be purchased and played on their TVs. So, but yeah, they definitely are looking beyond the console at this point.
Yeah. Key, like multi-platform, do you think we'll at some point see some form of PlayStation games on potentially even an Xbox? I mean, is that a possibility to you? It sounds crazy. I mean, it does sound crazy, right? But we already see that right now with the show. Remember last year when the show hit and people on the PS5 were having to pay $70 for it, but on Xbox it was in Game Pass, and that's a Sony first party game, right? Like, it's pretty interesting, man.
It's very interesting because first off, to me, going back to the whole Bungie deal, on Twitter, it's funny reading people tweets and at the same time it's
Yeah.
irritating because like just seeing the effect of like we was talking about with the whole Halo. Oh, PlayStation get Halo, and it's like, Jesus, go watch TV. Like put down the phone, go read a book or something. Like, no, you missing it. I feel like honestly, I do feel like first off, PlayStation is panicking. I said that before. PlayStation is panicking. Reason being because now every time you look up, Xbox is making some type of headline. People's talking about Xbox. Xbox is people are buying more Xbox. People talking about Game Pass, not Xbox. People are talking about Game Pass, not necessarily Xbox. So therefore, I feel like PlayStation is panicking. You see people always talking about, oh, well, PlayStation need their own Game Pass, or they're ass in the Game Pass. You see people write about it. You see people talk about it on podcasts. Like, PlayStation is panicking. PlayStation, for the first time, is now beginning to feel the heat. Period. That's what this is all about.
Can I ask you a question?
Talk
if
to
they
me.
got 48 million subscribers in the PlayStation Plus, and what was it? No, it was 100 and something in PlayStation Plus, and it was 48 in PlayStation Now. I don't understand the panic, right? From that aspect of it. But are they clamoring for day and date? Not Ganksy, because they do already have their Game Pass type equivalent in the services that they all provided.
Yep.
But the only thing that's the difference is the day and date first party games that are released inside Game Pass gives you the proposition value. So do you think that's what they're screaming for? Because the numbers dictate that they shouldn't be afraid for 48 million and 120 and 100 and some odd million in the plus.
So as far as the numbers go, I just want to make sure real quick, because they actually have like 3 million on PS Now. They have the 48 million is for PS Plus, and then it's like 140 million consoles sold, right? So I'm just making sure we're clear on the numbers.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I think it's more of a I think it's more of thinking about the future,
right,
type deal than it is right now. Because, let's be real. This generation, Xbox will not catch up to PlayStation. The problem is next generation. That's going to be where it's going to hurt the most, I think. Because now it's, once these deals are done, rather Call of Duty stay multiplayer exclusive, rather, PlayStation decide to go ahead and make day one content, put it on Steam, or make their own little Epic store, whatever you want to call it, and have people playing on PC day one. I think it's the future that's worrying them. I feel like when the next PS6 come out, the Xbox.
There's no PS6.
And see,
okay. You're talking about, and these consoles is going to last 8 to 9 years, right?
And that's what it's supposed to be. Eventually, if it go off what it normally goes off, we're going to get some type of Pro or whatever.
I think the chipsets, we're being held back by the deficiency in chips available, right?
Right.
So actually, the generation that we're in right now really hasn't really begun and started yet. So we're still doing cross-gen games. We're still being held back by the last generation because the chipsets aren't there for us to be pushed forward. So we're going to get a lot of those this gen only games around this year and next year, right? So that's when the generation really starts. So you're going to say that we're 2 to 3 years behind, actually. So the 5-year cadence will be elongated by the 3-year deficiency that we did have. So that puts 8 years there. Then you say the 9th year is the ramp-up year. Yep. If we're looking at the way Moore's law works, and as far as technology goes, we'll be out of the box by that time.
The cloud gaming also has surpassed it.
Right. Technology will leap to a point where we're at 5G now. 8 years from now, what G will we be at? What would be our broadband solution as far as getting these games in? See, my thought process is these console makers don't want to make consoles. Right? This is the biggest barrier. They would love to make these only. You walk up to your TV, you press this, You go to your app and you're in. This is the device that controls your situation.
I feel like they're going to always continue to make something to compare with the PC. Period. That's what I think. These graphics cards coming out left and right. We see what these graphics cards could do. Again, look at God of War. You know, people talk about how good. I don't have God of War on my PC, but people talk about how good it look, how smooth it play, and the details and sounds and so forth and so forth and so forth. I do believe it will be probably, like you said, probably like another 8-9 years. I think we're gonna get some type of pro, because we always get some type of mid jump, you know, in performance. Plus
Who
PlayStation
do you think brings it out first?
Who I think, honestly, I think it would have to be PlayStation. It would have to be, because as of now, looking at some of these games and the way that performs, people have said they want high refresh rate versus the 4Ks and all that. Like, they want their game to run smooth as possible. Even to Xbox, the most talk so far people been talking about is the fact of just how smooth the games play, the boost of older games and things like how smooth the games
But what
run.
happens to your VR? See, what you're missing in them going first, and I don't believe that the first one's out the door in a pro. If a pro happens, I don't believe a pro happens. I really don't. I don't see it for. I don't see them maxing out these consoles yet, because they haven't even tapped into the velocity architecture. They haven't gotten to the Kraken. They haven't even maximized Unreal Engine 5, which having a bunch of problems right now. And once Epic fixed that part, but PlayStation has to worry about another strategic launch that they're dropping, and they have Facebook staring them down with a system that they can go in, even though it's underpowered compared to the PlayStation VR. The Oculus 2 is a pick up and go item, right? Much like the Switch, you pick up in the store, you go, and you're in your own little ecosystem and you're doing your thing. Whereas the $1,200 PlayStation VR, and I know you say, where did I get that number from, right? The PlayStation 5 is $500. So you think the VR
gonna cost more?
I'm hoping that the VR costs $400. So you're saying $900 right off the rip. And then you have to get the games.
Yeah.
So you're looking at taxes and everything involved. You're looking at a $1,200 proposition. To your nearest competitor is $300. And even if you want to go to the Rift, it's still a cheaper proposition for somebody that owns a PC. But again, they have to market and get this PlayStation VR off the ground and not make it as niche as it is right now. I don't see a PlayStation 5 Pro in the cards even within the next 5 years, because I still believe that under the hood, with all the software technologies and stuff like that, and Unreal Engine 5, it's a real beast when they can actually harness it. I think it takes away the issues that the Jaguar units had in the previous generation, where we needed a refresh.
I don't know. I just feel like, because at the end of the day, it's all about moving forward.
Right.
It's always going to be all about moving forward. Yes, you bring up some great points, especially with the PlayStation VR 2 coming out or whatnot. Oculus had a hell of a year. I bought one for my son.
Yeah.
You know, Mav said he bought one for his daughter. You and the team, y'all all been posting,
we all
you know, like we all get it now. Kind of like the Switch. You know what I'm saying?
Is
It's
Mr.
like we all
Oculus
get
now,
it.
you know. So.
Yeah.
Well, it works for Facebook.
Yep.
Right. Jesus. But I just feel like, honestly, as technology keep evolving, because we still at that barrier where, like you said, 5G, where we're gonna be at. I get that, but at the same time, people still struggle with getting stable connections. People still struggle with even paying to get the stable connection. So I feel like as of now, there will have to be some type of hardware to put up under your TV.
So
price point, you're right. You know, I would go out and buy $300 hardware before I go ahead and buy $500 here, then an extra $300 or $400 for my eyewear, then drop in a good $200 or $300 for 3 or 4 games. hopefully games won't go higher than $70. But again, we don't know the future with that. But I just feel like one way or another, I feel like there will be at least one more next generation before we just go all out, some type of Roku device into the TVs, you know, or I feel like they're going to be one more. There has to be one more because they're going to have to keep up with PC. Because at this point, it's going to be, well, why buy a console when I could just get all the power I need on my 5060 graphics card, 7060, whatever, that could run it flawless.
The interesting thing is, though, that those PCs may become obsolete as well, right? Because the reason that people are buying those $3,000 PCs is because they can do all that stuff. Now, if cloud gaming and cloud infrastructure and tech really gets to that point in the next 10 years, which it very well could be, because imagine where we were 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. 2012.
I had on live. Remember that?
Yes. Ouya, all that crap.
Yeah.
So 2012, think of where we were, right?
Yep.
We were playing on a 360, right? We were playing on a PS3, thinking of on like 4 megabit per second internet.
I was watching Blu-ray on my PS3.
And that was good. You know? Like, and to think about at that point, to go to 2022, to think of the kind of games that we can get at 60 frames per second natively on our consoles at 4K resolution. 4K was like just coming out 2012.
Yep.
Even if it was even out yet, I'm not even sure. But cloud gaming was just a proposition to be able to make save files at that time. Right? Now we're looking at, we can play games on our phones, like all these crazy games, like on our phones. We can access them on our PC in a web browser. We can all do that stuff. We're in the very infancy of actual cloud gaming, right? Now, like you look at streaming services now, like Netflix and Disney Plus, we get this like
it's ridiculous
Dolby Vision, like 4K, HDR, all of this stuff. I just
pointed that out to my wife the other day. I said, look at the quality. Now, of course, that I have a 4K Blu-ray player, and I put in the movie, and I said, look, check this out, right? Then we go watch the Book of Boba. I said, tell me, in this really clean scene, what's the difference?
Right.
And I said, 5 to 6 years ago,
you can tell
streaming. That's disgusting. Like I can't deal with that. And you needed that hardware there. We're coming to that point where, and I think Stadia was the tipping point. I think Stadia was a little bit ahead of their time. That's why they're doing the rebranding and stuff now.
Google
and
Stream.
They already know the tech. Yeah, they know the tech that they have. They know that it's powerful tech. To get those games running in a browser is absolutely magic, right? So what they didn't have was they didn't have the business model behind it to actually push it properly. Because if Microsoft actually had that same technology, not xCloud, because xCloud was phenomenal within itself, but Stadia had some things that were actually fundamentally better than what they did. And when they picked up Bethesda has a cloud infrastructure in there that they will be using with the xCloud to boost it past where Stadia is at, as far as getting 1440p resolutions and stuff like that down into localization. But when you looked at what Stadia was doing, that's where we're supposed to be. Those games, those big expansive worlds, drop in and drop out any point in time with great resolution. Response time, if you can get a great connection, was pretty damn good. The latency was low. In the next 5 years, it's going to become indistinguishable from local hardware. And what I want to know, which one cuts bait first. And I believe Sony, with the larger catalog, with the mission statement that they just told you, with the DNA that they have in Bungie, with the fact that they picked up Nixus, with the fact that the money man Ryan is in the position that he's in, once those games everywhere, there's no coincidence that MLB The Show, again, this year is inside Game Pass, and not, come on, man, why is it not in PlayStation Now? Why is it not dropping in PlayStation now? Why does the PlayStation owner have to suffer $70?
Because PlayStation right now they panicking. They don't know what to do yet. They trying to figure it out.
It's common business sense.
They're trying to figure it out because they see which I don't want to say competition, because Phil already said they're
not competition. We rent service to them.
Right.
One thing I do know though, like Xbox is more likely to have some iteration of another console, whether it's the Series Z or Series whatever,
right?
Because Phil said themselves that their hardware team is still working on other hardware, and that
Hopefully.
they're not going to abandon hardware. But what they mean by that is like having an option, right? As opposed to being
the option,
the lead platform, right?
Because think about it.
Hardware.
Think about it.
That is hardware.
It's hardware. But here's the thing.
Right. That's an accessory.
Technically.
But here's the thing. I guess for me, when I'm thinking, because I like to think all type of ways, outside, inside, up, down, left, right, flip it, cross it, whatever. So it's like they go ahead, they do straight, just get rid of hardware about this controller, and you good. But then it's about what do you have in your house that can run these type of power, internet speed, whatever. Which chances are now is either forcing you to either go out to buy a new TV with Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation, whatever, already installed, compatible, ready to go.
Beautiful.
Or again, going out trying to buy some type of small little Roku device or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like at the end of the day, people don't have $2 or $3 grand to drop on a TV.
Nope.
Not like that. Not like that, you know. They're going to get it because they're gamers and they want to stay in the loop. So they're going to find a way to get it.
Yeah.
But everybody don't have it to go get it, you know, which lead to, again, going towards the hardware. Even if you get this little Roku device, that's fine. But now you got this Roku device.
Microsoft has been said to be working on.
Yep. And which, if they get it down pack, it's going to be phenomenal. Let's be real. But again, now it's going off your internet connection. And I just feel like with COVID and all the bullshit going on in this world, people don't have the money to throw out like they did 10 years ago, you know? So I feel like there will be some type of hardware, whether it is something small, big, mid. I feel like there's going to be something else because everybody can't, again.
I honestly think like in the future, like, it could be a thing where if the hardware still exists, the hardware is sold more expensive and they don't worry about taking losses on them and all that stuff. Because at that point, it's just a decision. All right, you got your streaming here. You can access it this way and get a great experience because it's actually probably more powerful than you're able to get locally anyway. So if we are going to have a native device, it's going to have all the bells and whistles possible for the major enthusiast, right?
Yeah.
The hardest of the hardcore, and you're going to pay a premium for it. Other than that, everybody else is going to be able to have the same experience. I kind of feel like that's the way we could see it in the future if there is still hardware going on after 10 years from now. But I think there could still be a correction of the PS5 at some point, right?
A correction,
and
like they're wrong.
But it's true.
And
but it is kind of big. Pause.
And the series, to get that size down a little bit, you know what I mean?
You
and
see
maybe
it, right?
Yo, you know what's funny? I didn't notice it until you showed it.
Yeah.
Your elbow had it blocked out pretty damn good.
You know?
For me, it's like looking at a PS5 and it's set up, it's almost like the lamp from A Christmas Story. It's that leg lamp. It's just like out of place.
Lamp.
Like it's like, what is that?
Everybody draw their attention to. It's like you kind of embarrassed, but at the same time, you get the PS5, but it's eyesore, you know what I'm saying?
I honestly I did sell my PS5, right? Because I wasn't playing it. But the time that I had it, I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the games. I thought it was a decent machine, right? I thought it was like good. What I was lacking was the ongoing engagement from it that I get from Xbox. And I think this is part of the reason that they're making these shifts with these live service games instead of being hey, play this game and then play it again. You know what I mean? Like that's been their model. Like, hey, these are so good, you need to play it over and over and over again because we're going to have 3 or 4 of these a year. And that's what you got to spend your time on, right? Unless you're playing Call of Duty or Madden or FIFA or whatever, right? And that's what they relied on. Now, Activision Blizzard deal, Call of Duty marketing mindshare, it's huge, right?
Yeah.
That aspect is not going to be there. The other one that really hit hard for them back when at the launch of the PS4 was the deal that they made at the time with Activision and Bungie for Destiny to be marketed as a PlayStation. And now, were they going to lose that as well? Like, you lost Call of Duty marketing and mindshare. You're going to lose Bungie's next thing, Bungie's next big game. Are you going to lose that? No. So what you do is you make sure that you have that still as a part of your ecosystem, and also you help bring them in, and they're going to help bring you into this future that you envision for yourself, because that's what they don't have experience with. PlayStation doesn't know how to do the big multiplayer thing, right? So Bungie does, and this is going to help usher in that future for Sony that they are envisioning, that multi-platform. Again, as Bungie even says themselves, their future games are going to be on all the places where their existing community is, right? So that includes Xbox, that includes all these things. They said that themselves.
I think that's a lie.
Yeah, on their FAQ page, man. It's not a lie, dude.
No. I get what you're saying. It's written in black and white, but I think they're full of it, honestly.
You think so? You think they're misleading people?
So.
I think it's actually part of the plan from Sony as well. And I think that Bungie is putting that there, like in black and white on their FAQ page, that it's gonna happen. Like after the Bethesda ZeniMax deal happened, you didn't see Bethesda ZeniMax saying this.
No.
Right? Like you didn't see Bethesda ZeniMax coming out and say our future games are going to be multi-platform.
Yeah, all existing contracts will be honored.
Yeah, that's what you said. That's what you saw, right?
Yeah, that's
and even with Phil's comments on Activision Blizzard, he says we desire, right? It's very vague, like open-ended. Like I can see
something over there.
I can see the possibility. I can see a possibility with Call of Duty, right? Depending on the negotiations.
No. Warzone.
Negotiations.
See, this is the thing. And we're going to stop acting like we didn't see this horror movie already. All right, we're going to stop acting. And listen, first of all you Xbox dudes, I'm going to tell you right now, stand up, put your pitfalls in the air, and definitely love exactly what's happening at this moment right now. Because when Sony came and took the marketing rights away with Call of Duty, what happened? Remember when y'all used to have the 30 days and we used to play the games and we had, Sony got that, and what happened? You had to sit down in your little soup and you had to take that, right? So this is the part where take that is happening. 2 games. 2 years. That's this year and the next. And the rest of that is done. Phil already showed y'all the first time. This is exactly how we get down. This is exactly how we going to play. We purchase. They for us. They not for you. Now, that Warzone, which is a free to play, you free to play. You free to have that. We are going to have that on our joint right there. And there is the Call of Duty on your box. If you like that, you like Warzone, and Warzone is for you, and you have a PlayStation, then you have a home. But if you want a mainline Call of Duty, we did not spend $68 billion to get something to give to you. We're not doing that. Yeah, and when I'm talking about I'm down with the Xbox Coalition, 100%. So you can be mad and you can be upset, but what you gonna do, you're gonna pick up a little man and you're gonna sit down and you're gonna be quiet and you're gonna play your Call of Duty in the next 2 years. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. Because people acting like this horror movie didn't happen to you already. Don't walk back in that house. You know exactly what it's going to be. Don't say, is anybody there? Don't do that. We saw this already. No, you're not getting another Call of Duty. You can pray, you can hope, you can wish, 2 years. That's it. And it's over.
But you know what? It's funny. It's funny because I was more so excited at the fact of Activision get to make more games besides Call of Duty.
Yes.
Screw Call of Duty.
It isn't just about Call of Duty for sure.
They got more stuff there that we like, but they made it about Call of Duty.
And that was the problem with I don't know how they got lost in water there. Last week we talked, 2 weeks ago, I wasn't on there last week. We talked about it because it was like, man, look at all these great games Activision made. Look at all these great Transformers, the Spider-Mans before even Insomnia came out. Like, it's just so many great games that Activision came out with before it was just all about Call of Duty, And it's like, man, I'm more excited because now they get to get back to their roots.
Their hopes is gone.
Phil Spencer actually said, let's go in an interview talking about their IP.
Yeah. Yeah. And that goes back to what I was saying when we was talking before the show. Like, man, you could tell Phil is a gamer. Like, he want to see these games live. He want to see these games come about. You know, even with Game Pass, I said all the time, your favorite game could be on Game Pass and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
I found some wonderful gems of games that financially you have to be frugal when you go and you navigate these waters when you're purchasing games. And to have a service like Game Pass where sometimes you get date, sometimes you get game of the year candidates like Death Door, Hades, and stuff like that to drop inside of Game Pass. Some games that you question, like Outriders, should I purchase? Should I buy? Should I try? And these games drop inside Game Pass, and you get a chance to try stuff. Artistic games like Contrast and stuff like that. I know they launch in other places, but remember, this is the value proposition of your $15, your $14.99 a month.
Oh, yeah.
And when we're dealing with how we consume our mediums, we do this a la carte. Our Netflix, our Paramount, our Stars, our Hulu, our ESPN, all the stuff that we're bundling and we're purchasing, it totals at least $100 and some odd a month. So to add another subscription service on top of that, it must bring value, right? So Game Pass is bringing value in the part where AAA titles from first-party developers and AA titles from first-party developers are being dropped inside Game Pass in a cadence to keep up with your gaming appetite. And ID at Xbox has facilitated a way for indie developers to be seen inside the Game Pass ecosystem. And it's done in a way where they drop at least 2-3 times a month. You've been trained and groomed to go to your Game Pass to look at recently added. And they have suggestion for you. So no indie game drops inside Game Pass going unnoticed because certain games are in Game Pass, certain games are in beta, and then you see recommended for you. You're like, wow, because this goes with your choices, your tastes and stuff like that. Let me try this game out. So we have to look at what Xbox is doing as a company as a whole, and we must demand that same level of expertise and care when it comes to the consumer from the competitor, the so-called competitor. Now, I know you're saying that they're panicking at this point, right? I don't believe that Sony's panicking. I believe that all their moves are calculated in the point where, excuse me, I said this a long time ago, I believe they're going to be purchased by Netflix.
Well,
now,
you and Fuzzy are like he's in a pod here.
Fuzzy, yeah, really.
I'm thinking Amazon, but Netflix is definitely another interesting one as well.
You know why, Fuzzy? The reason why I say Netflix? Tell me one other new IP as far as movie, TV show, or anything that has got 8 seasons before the first episode has ever dropped. And I will tell you, The Last of Us is the only one.
Yeah.
All right. So what's promised? Sony has a catalog that rivals tons of studios, right? Paramount is afraid of what Sony has to offer. Sony can actually just say, I will give you all my Spider-Man. I will give you all of these shows. And then they have iconic IPs like God of War and stuff like that. Could you imagine watching a show on Netflix, The Last of Us, and at this point in time, it so coincides with the game, and an icon pops up. Do you like this? Pick up your controller. You pick up your controller and you go straight into the game.
Yeah.
So I told people,
you don't need a PS5 to do that first.
No, without a PS5, because Netflix has got streaming down to a point where it's indistinguishable from local horror. See, listen, I'm bringing you down this road and I'm taking you down and I'm holding your hand and I'm getting you to the place.
Come on, take me there.
We talked about it earlier.
Take me there.
So I'm taking you down this road and I want you to see exactly where it's going, because Netflix is at the forefront of streaming. Netflix has also announced games, but what don't Netflix have?
Games.
Yeah.
Who has games?
Yeah.
And then they got Funimation, right? They got Crunchyroll. Netflix, Japanese animations and their regular cartoon animations have been upper tier now. They're getting there. But are they on par with Crunchyroll and Funimation? No. But if they was to purchase Sony and to take Crunchyroll and add that, and Funimation and add that into the Japanese ecosystem in the anime area, they will become a juggernaut that is unstoppable, and Sony pay for themselves 10 times over, not even counting when we get to the games.
Yeah.
So Sony is at a value proposition for a big entity as far as Netflix to come in, purchase, and from the beginning start running. So is this strategic purchase of Bungie something larger to the puzzle? Or we're looking at something small and it's bigger?
So let me ask you something. And I feel like we got all off topic.
That's all right. That's all right.
But this is a great debate here. Like, this is a great debate because we want to know what the future game is going to be about. Future gaming. You know, we want to know what's next. That's just what it is. But Fuzzy, I want to ask you, because you saying Amazon, and you know the king, he proved his point. He laid it down. Why Netflix? Like, I want to hear why Amazon from you. Because my biggest question after it's all said and done is, why would Sony want to sell?
I was thinking Google.
Google's they're too flighty now. Yeah. And after Microsoft spent the $7.5 billion, they were like, yeah, this ain't our game. So they took their ball and went home. And the fact that Microsoft is now spending almost $70 billion, maybe even a little bit more after everything is said and done, and they haven't called out yet or haven't tagged out with their Luna service or anything like that. I mean, it's still in beta, but they haven't tagged out after seeing $70 billion on the table. So they have the cash roll to be able to pick up somebody like Sony. And my angle was more so from like Prime Media or Prime Video and Twitch, where Sony got rid of their distribution on their consoles as far as their movies and TV shows and things like that. And Prime is always looking for additional content. So that is where it would marry up. And then them wanting to get into gaming is just, it would be a good fit. I'd like King's approach as far as Netflix. It's actually a much better fit than Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I say he laid it down, but I was curious about Netflix. So Amazon, I was curious about it.
The only thing I haven't really looked at how much on-hand money Netflix has. I don't know if they necessarily have a full buyout amount. I could definitely see a partnership, but it both are, I would say, prime companies to take over Sony. And I kind of think that that's something that's in the maybe 3 years down the road kind of thing. And it's not that they're in a panic or that they really need to sell, but I think they'll look at the bigger picture, kind of like what King was hinting to, with them picking up Bungie. You turn that into a movie or a TV series, I won't say it's going to be Star Wars level, but I definitely think it'll outdo what Witcher is doing on Netflix. So the lore of that game, it may not be executed all that great in game. You have to kind of read through stuff, and a lot of people rather watch than read. But I think turning that into a series or a movie is the way that Bungie deal looks bigger than what people give it credit for now. And then on the flip side of things, kind of like what you guys were talking about earlier, you also have them being I won't say necessarily the kings of first-person shooters, but they're definitely top-notch as far as gunplay and first-person shooters. And they're also great at like a live service game. So having that experience in your fold, helping out maybe an Insomniac or helping out, any of the other studios that might be making like, Resistance Fall of Man and having a multiplayer component, or maybe helping out Naughty Dog with, factions that it's been 2 years now and we still haven't really got anything more than you'll hear more about it when it's ready type of deal. So having their experience in that fold, and a lot of the Sony studios seem to work well together, I think that's where it's a good fit. And plus, I kind of saw, Sony and Bungie being buddy to some extent, not necessarily in public, but it was one of those things where when they were talking about expanding their studios, and they built the one out in, was it the Netherlands or something like that? And that's where Bend is. And a lot of people, not Bend, Gorilla, a lot of other studios that want to work with Sony, like using the Decima engine, if they're building a studio right down the street from, Guerrilla, their next game could be on that Decima engine. And it just seems like there's a lot of pieces kind of fitting together. I do like the Netflix, forecast or prediction. I didn't want to think that it would be Netflix as far as like a full buyout. I kind of look at it as more of a partnership, but once again, I haven't really looked at their, pocket money as far as what they have to go on a buying spree. But I know Amazon is kind of like sitting on a cash roll and they're just, standing back, watching, eating popcorn, watching everybody run around, panic or buy stuff. And they're like, yeah, we'll make our moves
that's
soon.
why I think Google could be potentially in play, because I think that would be their panic move, because they're so far behind with the getting into the gaming space. They failed miserably with the direct to consumer method that they tried with Stadia. Right. They really wanted that to succeed. Now they got the tech. Their cloud platforms and stuff are excellent, right? They're rebranding it and trying a different model, but I feel like they're going to miss out on that real true gaming space, except just being a host of services, unless they make a drastic move, right? And with Sony, for me, they already have, like, Sony TVs come with Google Chrome, the Chromecast built in already, right? They already have that relationship there. So it would be an easy thing to, like, hey, access your PlayStation app within your Chrome on your Sony TV and all of these things. So I think there could be something potentially in the future there. Plus, that's an easy buy-in to the gaming space for Google, because immediately you got those IPs, you immediately get the everything, and you got the cloud services that you can host everything on already to go. You know what I mean? It's just they don't have anything to sell to people. Right. That's their problem, right? But Amazon Luna is doing okay, I guess, right now. So the thing with Amazon that's interesting is that a lot of stuff's hosted on AWS, right? Yeah. So you got, like, Disney Plus is hosted on AWS, Netflix is on AWS, right? Yeah. So when you look at, like, the companies that are really running the show, yep, it's the Microsoft, it's the Amazon, and it's the Google who is doing the hosting of the cloud services that all of this entertainment medium is being ran on, right? So those are the major players. That's the major competition there, not the services that get put on those platforms, right? But the people that are actually behind the hosting the platforms, right? And that's really, like, that Microsoft's in such a unique situation here, right? And that's why this Adam Conover guy, who we need to move on with this conversation here, because we need to get to this dude with his comments on his little weird blah 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 monopoly take on Twitter that blew up, right? That Adam ruins everything. He's trying to ruin this for us as well. This guy put on Twitter his little video talking about how Microsoft is buying into all of this Activision Blizzard to be able to undercut the competition and create their own monopoly like Amazon did and all this stuff, right? So mind you, he's not even acknowledging the fact that Amazon's one of their competitors in the gaming space, and saying that they're pulling an Amazon here, which is kind of strange. Like, it seemed pretty for me, like, his comments. I know a lot of you guys saw this. It was everywhere. You had to have seen this video. Basically saying that he's basically ignoring the fact that all this future talk we're having, right? He's living in this world of, like, it's Xbox versus Nintendo versus Sony, and that's what it is. And if Xbox keeps buying all these things, Sony's not going to be able to afford to make games anymore. Like, come on, is that really what's happening here? Right? When you look at Apple in the gaming space, when you look at Amazon in the gaming space, when you look at Google in the gaming space, when you look at Tencent, when you look at Embracer Group, when you look at all of these publishers and companies that are out there, Netflix, and we're sitting here talking about Sony like it's the end all be all of games, and it's going to be so damaging to them, and it's so damaging to the games that we get to play. Where, as opposed to, like, hey, let's just embrace the fact that we get to play more games, better games, actually, because what has this done for Microsoft? Has this dipped the quality of their games? No. Has it improved? Yes.
Yeah.
Have they given more time to developers?
Yeah.
Yes. Have they given more funding to developers? Yes. Are they being successful with this model? Yes. Why can't I know you can't just go all in right away. Microsoft didn't even do that. When they started Game Pass, did they just jump in like 100 to the deepest part of the ocean here? No, it grew organically into what we see it is today, right? They proved the success of it before they started buying Activision Blizzard and all these things, right? So this whole screaming of monopoly thing is just ludicrous to me. King, did you have a chance to see that?
Yeah. I
Guy?
watched the video and I say, okay, this is fear mongering at its highest, and this is what happens when something threatens your comfortability, where you start to read headlines and you start to see Twitter and you start to hyperventilate.
Yeah.
Of course, you see they brought Bethesda, and you're like, I don't care. Well, it wasn't Bethesda; they brought ZeniMax, right? And that's under the banner. Bethesda is under the banner. And then you start looking at all the stuff and you start digging into, what's all the IPs? And then, it was still people talking about Starfield would be on PlayStation and all this other stuff. And when it comes to realize that this won't be in your ecosystem, the ecosystem that you invested your time in, your comfort zone, you sit down with your controller, you actually love the way this controller feels. You're kind of married to it, you sit down in your chair and you like the rumble, you like the startup, there's audio cues that you like, you put your headsets on and your friends are there, and there's a comfortability to that, and that's threatened now. Because that is potentially going to go away, and what you fear is big bad Microsoft is purchasing up all these things, and Sony can't battle back. My little company that could. First of all, Sony has been doing bad business practices forever. All right, and you can't see a good deal in front of your face because you've been beat over the eyes and you're blindfolded right now. You don't understand that $70 for this current generation game is unacceptable.
Thank you.
But
yes,
you would rather say, and I'm tired of these dudes on my timeline, and you couch potato analysts, these financial advisors, these dudes that's on my timeline talking about, when I purchase a game for $70, I'm supporting the developer. Brother, you are not.
Yeah.
Because from digital to physical, developer is going to get his same cut that they've been promised for in that contract, brother. Now, what you might be cutting out at that point in time is Best Buy's bucks. What you might be cutting out is the facility that's distributing and printing up the disc.
Yeah,
that's what you're cutting out. The developer already has a set figure that he's going to make over at a certain price and everything that's there. So let's stop doing that. Let's stop talking about the developer is going to suffer, because what you're looking at is the weakest link in that straw that you can feel sympathetic to, that can help in your conversation because you want to control the narrative. So if I tell you puppies is being beaten down the street, oh no, we got to save the puppies. Right? So that's what they want you to feel. Oh no, the developers is under duress right now. Microsoft is the exact reason, because Game Pass is devaluing how we feel about games and how we're going to get our games. It's going to stop. No, it's all about you right now. Let's really look at your bubble. Your bubble is about you, sir, and it's about nothing else. Now, if games is on side your service day and date on your PlayStation Now or your PlayStation Plus, and you had to pay no $70, I will always fight for you, because I'm going to be playing MLB The Show in Game Pass. Yeah. Trust me, I'm gonna post a video. If you're a PlayStation dude, why isn't that first party game inside PlayStation Now or PlayStation Plus? Why aren't you making a video about that? Because there's no skin off their back if they put it inside their own ecosystem.
Because they want to pay the devs. Why is that
game on a competitor's console?
They want the devs to get that money, King.
Yeah, but if it's in a service, you can still purchase it.
That's true.
If you're so hell bent on support, brother,
Yeah.
buy it while it's in the service if you feel it's going to help out.
I feel like they forget that that's an option.
No, they want you to believe, and when that doesn't work on you,
yeah,
when you're so, man, get out of my face, I don't care about support, no doubt. When you say that, then they try to shame you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you in a dollar store, man. That's cheap stuff there, brother.
Yeah.
You paid $1 a month to get in there. Okay. When you was a kid, if somebody came up to you and said, hey, give me $1 and I'll let you for this whole month play 350 games.
Man.
You couldn't throw that dollar to that dude fast enough.
Add into the fact that a lot of the Game of the Year nominees and award winners are currently in that service that you just spoke about, right? So it's not just like I saw one person put on Twitter. Like, I don't understand why people really like cop for Game Pass. I mean, does anybody really like the gunk? Nobody was ever going to play the gunk before. It's not about like taking the gunk, that one game, right? As in the example of everything that's in Game Pass.
I was never going to buy that game.
No.
I was never going to buy that game. I was never going to try that game. And you know what? Because of Game Pass, I tried that game. Yep. I ended that game, and I fell in love with that game.
Yeah. A lot of people did, right? And that's another beauty of it. Like, you can't say that everything is like, oh, people stop acting like you're excited to play this thing that you never were excited for before. But that's the point. Like you said, King, right? We're excited about some of the stuff like right away. That's like, oh, the big titles that we've been familiar with, we're excited for. But you get to try all these things. How many more games have you found that you love because of a service where you don't have to make that risk?
Yep.
Right? It's you don't have to take that risk. The value of the service is in the variety and in the quality, right? You don't see a bunch of like 3s and 4s and 5s on Metacritic and Game Pass. You just don't.
Yep.
You know, you see a lot of really good games. You see some great games, and then you see some really great games, right? And then you see stuff from all these different you got games like the gunk, but then you got MLB The Show, then you got all of EA Play's all of EA's back catalog, then you got stuff like Halo Infinite, and you got Forza Horizon 5 and It Takes Two, right? Psychonauts 2, Deathloop will be there this year, right? You're talking about games that are widely thought of as, hey, Game of the Year. Game Informer gave Halo Infinite Game of the Year. X-Play gave Psychonauts 2 Game of the Year. Psychonauts 2 just won the New York Game Award for Game of the Year. IGN gave Forza Horizon 5 Game of the Year. These are all day one Game Pass games. Right? You can't say it's dollar store shit when it's winning awards.
You can't.
Right? I mean, it's just the argument doesn't add up. So you have a service that, what did they do with Double Fine? They gave them more time.
Yeah. They gave them money to finish because there wasn't no bosses in the game.
Yeah.
You know, they gave them time and money to complete a game that turned out to be a game that could be Game of the Year.
Yep.
And they're bad though.
Yeah. Rainbow Six Extraction. I was not going to buy it.
I hate that game.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Right, hear me out. Okay.
That game I was not going to buy, so I was extremely excited. And that's coming from a person that plays Siege. Put in a lot of hours from Siege. Now, Extraction, when I seen it and following, I'm like, this is trash. I'm not getting it. But now, oh yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Have you played it?
I'm hooked on it, King.
I'm sorry, my little one just ran past me. I'm trying to see what he's doing.
Yeah, I feel you. I installed it. I played a little bit with my son, and I quickly uninstalled it.
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of Game Pass, because when I did see the game and the trailer they showed looked fantastic, and I said I'm all in. And then I got it. I was like, I'm all out.
Yep. But see, again, that's the thing with Game Pass. Like you get to try games that either you think you was gonna like or games you would never thought you would like.
Yeah.
That's why I say
I love it. So you know what I'm gonna do before it leaves the service? I'm gonna buy it.
There you go. Now you have a reason to buy it and to continue.
I've already spent money in it too.
or potentially, buy DLC for it. Like that's what it's about right there,
But like, okay, let's get back. So this guy, the Adam dude, the wants to ruin everything, like his show was called. And I just don't like Fuzzy. Do you have any takes on like his rant? And
I already photoshopped a PlayStation cap on him because
that was hilarious.
And it's not to make fun of PlayStation guys because I have a PlayStation myself, but it's like when someone on that I guess they make a post on Twitter about gaming and they're asking should they get Elden Ring on their PC or PS5. I kind of knew where he was going with his whole rant. And then to only claim that Sony only does video games and headphones, seriously. I guess they don't do movies or anything, TVs, whatever. I look at it as whenever you have someone that's on a platform, whether it be comedy or, business analysts or whatever the case is, and they use their platform to do the fear mongering, it just makes for comedy gold, I guess.
Yeah.
I like some of the responses where people were just like bobbing their head around with like marker drawing glasses, mocking the guy. But Destin, shout out to Destin Legary. He did a great video going point by point of dispelling all of the nonsense that was in that video.
Yeah, you've been on top of it lately.
Yeah,
like
shout out to
you've been on top of it lately.
Real quick. Shout out to Destin Legary, because like you guys said, he has been almost standing alone, speaking truth in this big media gaming space, because he comes from IGN, right? And holds a very opposite view than a lot of his coworkers, right? That are also being outspoken, right? But for him to put this stuff out there, and he was attacked. I heard on podcasts them calling him an Xbot and all this stuff for speaking just factual information on a video after the Activision Blizzard acquisition, claiming that he was like capping for Xbox and all these things. Yeah. When obviously people haven't been listening to him for years on Unlocked and all these other things, right? But he's doing a really good job on YouTube, right? Putting these videos together, coming from somebody that is big games media, right? So I just want to say shout out to him for taking finally this approach of not being afraid to say these things on your own personal channels and stuff like that, coming from a platform like IGN.
The thing is, a lie will get to your ear a whole lot quicker than the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason why the reason why this dude went viral is because it was a lie. And some people are comfortable in the lie, and it makes them feel comfortable in this space. But the thing with Destin stuff is the truth. But did it go viral? No, it didn't. No. It hit the same audience that listens to him. It hit the same people that understood the truth. And even if you try to share the truth with the people, they don't want to hear it, because you have a segment of the community that believes PlayStation is going to pull out a Halo game. So in that same mentality, and I want you to understand this, whatever that guy was saying was going to be the truth and the gospel to them.
Yeah.
And nothing that they hear after that is going to change that. Only thing that has to happen is absolute actions. So when I see old boy do what he do, I said, I understood where you're talking from, because I was that same scared little kid with Turbo Graphics. I was that same scared adolescent with Sega
Dreamcast. Oh man, those
right. Games. I'm the same scared adolescence with Neo Geo. Yeah. So understand. I've watched cons 3DO. I sunk money into my 3DO, $700.
Yeah.
Back
Did you
then,
enjoy
right
Need
now,
for Speed on the 3DO?
yes, I
was
did.
fire, dude.
Road
That was
Rash,
amazing.
all that.
Yeah.
Way of the Warrior,
Mhm.
all that stuff. I tried to support some. I even met Trip Hawkins. Dude lied to my face. But at the same time, I understand where you bet on a horse and you want it to win so bad,
Right.
but you don't see the forest for the trees. So you spread your own little lies to feel comfortable in it. And he just looked like a sad individual at that point, because when you start saying certain things and when you listen to yourself, I mean, did you play the video back and listen to yourself? You're actually advocating in a pandemic to spend $70 on something that we don't need to spend $70 on, but a service is giving you something that at a fraction of the cost with damn near 300 times the product, and you're telling people that's bad.
Right.
No, sir, you are bad.
Yeah.
That's
It's
just
the
my
issues.
take on that, dude.
I mean, we always have to keep these companies in check, right? You know, when they're doing these things, you know, let's say Xbox starts putting out just like only shit stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like dirt crap, and they're raising the prices on stuff, right? If that's what happens, guess what? They're gonna lose a lot of subs, right? People are gonna be speaking with their wallets on all of this stuff for a long time, right? So it's not foolproof that they're going to ruin the gaming industry by cutting everybody else out, right? To actually go there as like your vision of the future and sell it as like this dystopian evil gaming thing, right?
Doom.
Like Blade Runner, right? Like Xbox is Blade Runner, you know? Like it's just giving fuel to idiots.
Yeah.
Is what it is, right? And like there could go numerous different directions. We don't know what the future is, right? We can speculate. We know where technology is going,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And this one thing that he completely missed out on his entire stupid rant was the fact of where technology is going and how that's really what is pushing this forward. Because this model and this service was not even possible before the technology got us to where we are now. Right? Yep. GameFly was the only attempt at it in the past. You had to Blockbuster Pass and stuff like that.
What do you mean on live?
Well,
actually,
yeah, on live they had that as well. But like GameFly was like day one game, you get it in the mail, you know, like all that stuff. But it wasn't available. Like you couldn't stream games, right? No. You know, Netflix when they started with DVDs in the mail.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And technology got Netflix to where they are now.
Xbox did.
Xbox is getting us to where the gaming industry is now, for sure, and it's going to be pushing it forward. Like, and guess what? After Netflix was like the first one, really. Right now, we got Amazon Prime. You know, we got Disney Plus, we got Peacock, we got Paramount Plus, we got all these things. Same thing's going to happen to gaming, right? We already got EA Play, we already got Ubisoft Plus, and we got Game Pass, right? Spartacus is coming. All these things are coming. Technology is pushing this forward. It's not just Xbox. Xbox just has enough money to provide more content to their customers to make it more attractive and valuable to them. So to act Xbox as the big bad enemy here is just like complete ignorance to the fact of the world that we live in and what the future is going to be. So, hey guys, GTA 6 is actually happening.
Yeah, I can't wait I want to talk about this.
That's a nice segue. Yeah. So for the sake of time, I want to actually just move on from this topic. It's like,
thanks.
But GTA 6 was actually formally acknowledged, not in the form of the next entry in the GTA series was actually for the first time formally acknowledged that it's well into development by Rockstar. So, King, when are we going to see GTA 6 or GTA whatever?
That means that them talking about it means that the remaster or the remake is finished then. right?
I guess.
So
Yeah, probably.
that game comes out, you give that game another 6 years to breathe. So you say 6 years from now, 2028,
2028. Okay.
2026, 2020. This generation has been stagnated. So again, we're in a disruption type of thing. So I say 2026, 2020, from 26 to 28. Because
26.
they're gonna let this remake remaster breathe. It's that 5 has legs like no one could ever have predicted.
Yeah.
And to sell it again to this generation,
It's so crazy.
why not, right?
Yeah. It's true. They're gonna sell it for, what do you think it's gonna be, $70 on, or $60? 70?
Yeah, well, whatever they can milk out of you, pause. I honestly believe that they will go for
It's
the
okay.
gusto. Yeah.
Some people like being milked.
Yeah, well, not on air. Thanks. In the privacy of my bedroom. Thank you, Paul.
Milk me. All right. So, hey, I want to get to a couple of these super chats real quick. Drawn TJ hit us earlier with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you always, Drawn TJ. He says, "You're right, Mav." Hi, guys. I'm always right. Aren't I? No, maybe not, but it's okay. Army veteran. As well, hit us with a very generous $10 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. He says, "What's up, all? I'll check the show out. Had to come and give shout out to you guys, and of course, King gracing his presence on the show.
Blessings, bro.
Mav, how cool things have gotten for you in a year and a half." I agree, man. The last year and a half of doing this stuff has been absolutely amazing, and chats and everybody in the chat and everybody hanging out and the viewers, and I just appreciate all the support, the likes, the shares, subscribes, the comments. Just everything means the world, because hey, I'd still be doing it even if there was just me talking to my wife who's viewing in the other room on that's, you know what I mean? Because I'll
be there.
I like talking. Key was here from the start, man. Key was here when I was like three people in the chat, hanging out. And he has a great YouTube channel, like almost 5,000 subs, and sitting there hanging out, but like yeah, dude, 100% appreciate you all, guys. Fuzzy, GTA 6, are you in agreement with King here? Do you think 2026 to 2028? And the other question I got is, what kind of leap are we expecting here? Do we think it's going to be that real big next wow factor GTA?
I think the wow factor will be NFTs, all the properties in the game. No, but I see. It's not that I have a problem with GTA 6 as the title. I don't think it's going to be that.
Yeah,
I've always had this weird feeling ever since Dan Houser left, who's been the writer for everything GTA and Red Dead Redemption that Rockstar's ever put out. And it's not to take away from any of the talent that's at Rockstar Studios, but they lost 2 of their 3 founding fathers.
Yeah.
And with Dan Houser being the main, writing or narrative for all of their stories, this isn't going to be the same game. Now, the DLC that they did for online, I don't know if that was like the last iteration from Houser and it was meant to be like a single player thing added in. Because I remember one of the main characters, I can't remember his real name, Frantino, I think, that the one that plays Franklin was saying that they were supposed to have like story DLC like 4 or 5 years ago, like before this was like the first or second year into the PS4 and Xbox One range, that they were supposed to have some story DLC. So I think this next GTA, it's either going to be GTA Online 2, or they'll come up with some sort of new name like GTA World or GTA Metaverse or something along those lines. And the next iteration is just basically going to be, I guess the best way to put it, me being a Forza guy, it's going to be like Forza Horizon 4 and 5, where that's always online. Yes, you can do offline, but it's always online. You could see other players and everybody will be like in passive mode until you go to do a mission or something. And it'll just be like Forza Horizon 4 and 5, but with crime. And it's going to be GTA Metaverse, and that's what we're going to get. And you want to buy a house there? Oh, it's an NFT.
Oh my God!
And
no,
you want a car? It's an NFT.
Please, no. Don't put that in the universe. Don't put that in a New York.
You
I,
may be
I don't
on
need to
what
put
he-
it out there. I'm not trying to speak it
what-
into existence.
what he's
I just
saying is
think
real.
it's going to happen.
It's real. That's the scary part. But good God.
Do you remember when they 2K was talking about their new AI technology, right? In the cloud-based AI technology that's going to power their future games, and this was probably where we're going to see it, is in this new GTA. It's supposed to be like people act more realistic and like have personalities, and like people take different paths driving and stuff, be able to actually react to traffic and all this stuff. It kind of reminds me of Ready Player One, right? Like, and not Ready Player One, but also if y'all seen Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds as well.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's kind of like those futures. It's almost like what GTA's. I could see like that, Fuzzy. You know what I mean? Like going in here, you live in this world, you buy your virtual house, you own that house. Nobody else has that exact one because you got that real estate.
That's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Got to take a mortgage out to buy a house in the game.
Right?
Yeah.
The proposition of that permeating our medium is absolutely disturbing and disgusting in all the same breath, right?
Yeah.
Because you find a uniqueness in NFT as far as, let's say you buy a pair of sneakers and those same sneakers is on your same character that's in Grand Theft Auto, and your same character that's inside 2K, the same character that's inside Madden, the same character that's inside another game. And this is where they're trying to, that's the whole metaverse. That's the real metaverse, right?
Yeah.
Where universally your NFT that you purchased in one space lives digitally inside this digital world that they're creating, right? What's scary about it is what Fuzzy brought up is they take something as big as this to force this on you. And when you do go and purchase a real house in this digital space that is really yours, what type of ties do you have to this game? Now
You're
economically,
invested in it financially.
you're invested in this game in such a manner that it transcends how we consume our medium now. It changes everything, to be honest with you. And the fair proposition with it is enormous when you start to look at it. You just scared the hell out of me, Fuzzy, because I really didn't think about it until you said it. And my mind went straight, shot all the way through and said, damn, this is where we are possibly at the precipice of. And a game of this magnitude can enforce those same, those fears. It can actually happen.
Imagine
That's what
homeowners associations.
Oh, what?
if I'm like sitting at home just chilling and I get a notification on my phone that I got a digital notification from the HOA that I got weeds growing in my flower beds in my virtual house, I'm gonna be pissed off. You forgot to take your fake trash can up to the curb on trash day.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
sorry.
It's scary because honestly, Fuzzy, GTA is about the only game that could probably do that and get away with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally the only game out there that could do that. That's why it's scary.
It's
Good God.
interesting, man. Fuzzy.
I just see that they would be the ones, because with 2K being their parent company, and like I said, the founding fathers leaving, and they kind of saw some writing on the wall. They either got burned out or just didn't get along with the 2K management later on, the way that they were pushing that game. I could see now that something like this would be easier to implement, and you know, trying to figure out how to build the game around that is part of the reason why they took so long. Not having a story, just making an online game pretty much, and add content as you go, and you know, have these NFTs in there. I as much as I don't want that to happen, I'm not putting my Nostradamus hat on, but I just see this will be the ones that try it, and they will have the best shot. Nintendo's going to try it too, and we'll see how that goes with Nintendo fans. But these guys, I don't trust them, and I just see it being that's going to be what they push, and people are either going to lay down or burn Rockstar down. It's one or the other.
Wow.
That's what I wanted to talk about, honestly. Like, we already knew somewhere, shape, or form there's a new GTA coming out.
Yep.
Period. It was just a shocker to actually hear them say, now
because we expected it a couple of years ago for them to say something, but
right.
it just never happened. It's like, okay, when are they going to do it? And it just to drop it like randomly in a tweet like that.
Yeah, but I want to talk about how pissed off people were because there's a GTA being made and not a Bully 2, nor any type of love for Red Dead
Table
Redemption.
tennis.
Well, I think they said
I was blown away.
Was there a leak or something, or did they announce that Red Dead Redemption 2 is getting an update, and there's also a Red Dead Redemption 1 remake coming as well?
I know there's a rumor for the Redemption remake.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about the update because a lot of people really been looking for a Red Dead Redemption Online update, but literally that was trending all day when that news broke. Like, people are really pissed off because there's no Bully 2 in the works, and it's like not. Look, let's be real. GTA makes money.
Yep.
Period. There's no second or third. There's an A and a 1. There's no 2 and 3. There's no B and C. GTA makes money. So why not come out with something else that could possibly make more money than what they already have produced? On top of this, is still one of the best selling, if not the best selling video game. So why not? Why not do it? Why not? And it blew me away when I read those tweets, because I spent a good 30 minutes just reading people comments and all type of stuff. And like, people are really pissed off at this. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's a money game.
Yeah.
It's a money game at the end of the day.
I want to see. I want to see what's next for GTA. You know what I mean? I'm ready for that. It's been too long.
And honestly, let's be real. I do see GTA 6. Yeah. I'm kind of 50-50 with it, but the main focus would definitely be online. And even to that, I think when they just dropped this last DLC with Dre and them, like, I feel like this was really to test the waters, to really see if we could make an online game and implement stories after stories, chapters after chapters, into this to keep it going. So all you got to do is just do what y'all do, make it free, and people will come in there to buy up. What is that called? GTA coin? I don't even know. I don't even play GTA Online.
It's like shark cards.
Yeah, shark card. People will buy shark cards. People will continue to buy whatever to get the newest, hottest update on the cars, the clothes, the missions, the weapons, whatever. Like, it's simple math. 2 + 2, simple math.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just blew me away when I was reading those people just really pissed off at this. Bully 2 would not know. First off, okay, how many people play Bully?
I hated it.
It's Bully was literally a hit or miss. It wasn't no in between. It was a hit or miss.
Miss me.
Yeah.
Our good friend 3-Bit, like, it's one of his favorite games of all time. I never touched Bully because I like San Andreas. It never didn't appeal to me.
See, so why put an extra 2-3 years into making a Bully game? And you got people that either literally hate it or love it. No in between.
Yep.
Like, why? Red Dead Redemption, if anything, Red Dead Redemption probably deserve a little more love.
Yeah.
Because people do, there's a community out there. There's a guy now I'm friends with. He's on Twitch. I mean, he averaged about 600-700 views every time he turned on GTA. Me on Red Dead Redemption Online.
Yeah.
Like, that's what his channel's built off of. He approaching a million followers on TikTok. Built off of Red Dead Redemption. Like, the community is strong. So if anything, they had the right to be upset. But Bully? What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I was surprised. I mean, I would like to see a Midnight Club at some point. Like, I want to see more variety, like, from all of these publishers. Like, Activision just did okay. Yeah, it's making money, but Activision just turned into a Call of Duty developer. 2K now is not really making anything. I mean, they had like the Tony Hawk. Oh wait, no, that was Activision. Sorry.
No, that was it.
What's 2K making besides basketball and wrestling?
Wrestling.
Yeah,
That's it, right? I mean, pretty much.
I think that come out next month.
They got
they pushed that back.
They got like their other subsidiaries, like Private Division and stuff like that. They're doing they're doing like
a ton of money though.
Interesting things, you know. But as far as like GTA, I would like to see like the classic Rockstar come back a little bit and do a little bit more variety, right? But we'll never see it. Well, what we'll see is like we saw in GTA. We'll see more racing implementation into GTA in the future. We'll see more of the sports implementation into GTA in the future. We'll see all these different aspects.
Real gambling.
Yeah. Real gambling. Hey, win your very own NFT poker chips.
Yeah. that stuff is going to really happen. Like real online betting. Yeah. You know, and when you see it, it's going to be a shocker. When you sit down at the table and you're playing poker and they say, well, you know, are you in? And you have to put in your password to go to your bank account to send your money in if you're in. This is the game that can actually bring all those fair propositions to the forefront. I think it's going to be a lot of legislations after the game is released. I think this game is going to be heavily disruptive after it's released, after they see what it does in the ecosystem once it's out. But again, I still believe that this remake on 5 is going to give it its air. They're still watching the market, still checking and see how they can monopolize the NFTs, the gambling prospect of things, how they can extrapolate as much monetary gain from that release, because it's probably one of the single most anticipated titles that is multi-plat across all boards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when it does drop, it's going to sell like a blockbuster film.
Yep. That name alone, Grand Theft Auto, that name alone is going to do amazing numbers.
Yeah.
Day one, first hour. Guaranteed.
Hopefully it ain't nothing crazy.
And when you go to that fake GTA club and you got to put in your real credit card.
I'm going to be just like real life. I'm going to tuck it and...
It's crazy. It's crazy. But hey, guys, this was a super fun show. Chat, you guys rock as always. Thank you for being here. King David's bringing the heat and bringing the fun as always, and the knowledge as well. I mean, this guy's like a savant with reading the future. I think people always thought you were crazy at times, and then it seems like this stuff that you randomly say sometimes, and people are like, "What the hell did you just say?"
All the stuff happens.
It like happens. Like, man, I remember when King David said that like a year ago, and like just off the cuff.
That's what you need in your group to get you to think outside the box. Yeah, that's what you need. Paint a bigger picture.
Yeah,
I love it.
I try, and I also try not to listen to the actual people that are inside my DMs, because when I say stuff, I just don't say, like, if I say the number is 35 million in Game Pass, right? But Microsoft comes out and says that it's 25 million, right? That's 25 million concurrent subscribers that is on probably the $14.99 or $9.99 complete deal, right? That other dollar stuff that these dudes be barking at, that's the other 8 million. So they're not going to count those dudes until they're into the reoccurring cycle. But they're going to count the concrete dudes, right? So if I yell out a number, it's because I yell out a number because I actually know a certain number. I don't yell out a number just be talking out of the side of my neck. It's just because I know a certain number. And yeah, I'm not Microsoft. I don't work for Microsoft and I don't care about it. So I can say whatever I say and they will be like, oh, he's kooky and crazy. But then when you realize, oh my God, he was talking the truth.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Thanks for being here, King. I want to make sure if some reason, somehow, people don't know where to find yourself. But talk about Iron Lords, talk about statues and everything you got going on.
First,
out there
and foremost, I want to thank you, Mav. I want to thank you, Key. I want to thank you, Fuzzy, for having me to have this discussion. I love your beautiful backgrounds. I love everything that's going on in there. I swear, it's taking me aback. So crazy that I didn't know Key had a PlayStation right there because I was so
Yeah.
drawn to the controllers.
I was trying to hide it from my Adidas shoe.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
my Lego Adidas shoe up
That's
there.
Lego. That's lit.
Yeah, this is my Lego.
I love it.
Oh, you can put the tongue up.
You put the tongue up.
Yeah. It even came in an actual Adidas shoe box. It's pretty sweet.
Wow. that's. I see. I'm into stuff like that. I'm into that beautiful stuff that everybody find kooky that makes you an individual as a person. Fuzzy, I'm definitely coming back because I want to see your background, buddy. No pressure. No pressure. None at all. And the last time I was with Mav, I think you had like a pool room or something going on.
Oh yeah, that was my game room. I had like the picture up like for my background just because this room wasn't as cool back then.
No, it's cool as hell right now, brother. It is cool as hell. I love those neon lights. I love this stuff. And like I said, I thank you again for even inviting me on your platform. Like I said, I see and I watch you, at night, and sometimes I'm watching stuff. So
yeah, you never know who's watching, because
no, you don't.
Yeah. Right?
So and yeah, that's why I tell people be careful what they say online. Phil be up playing at night. He's watching. You can catch me on Iron Lords podcast Sunday at 1 p.m. during football season. And off of football season and 11 a.m. during football season. I'm so happy it's over. That's it. I'm a Jet fan, so I really don't care. Catch me on Twitter, King David OTW, where you can find me giving the smoke to every last individual that actually feels like they want it. I don't know why. It's stupidity. I have taken down so many PlayStation generals that they're scared to talk to me now, but we're all good friends. Also, DCX, that's Dolph Castle X, Fridays, 9 p.m. That's the reason why I can't be on, Map Show on Fridays, because I sit down with fellow statue collectors, a couple of millionaires, talking these high-end statues, and you can go to LogNet, that's lordsofgaming.net. That's our website where you can see some of these statues that I have up there, King of the Statues, Combat Talk with the King. I just unboxed 3 statues today. That was Lady Death, XM Studios. I'm doing Planet Hawk right now, and I'm going to do Ultron, XM Studios Ultron. I'm a huge Ultron fan. So what I tried to do is give you a story and a history of how I feel about the characters, why I got the characters, and what they mean to me. So not necessarily about hey, I got this statue that's like $1,500-$1,600 and yo, go get this. No, it's just giving you an insight on what I collect and what is near and dear to me, and hopefully it's near and dear to you, and hopefully I can share a story with you that you've read in the comic books and that you agree with me on. And if you do or don't, like, write a comment at the bottom and we can talk about it.
Yeah, man. Awesome stuff, dude, and you're always busy with everything. And I mean, is that a base? Is it your basement that you're down in with all of your stuff? Yeah, I mean,
this is one of my rooms. This is the media room. Behind me is the red room. I moved the purple room from the back over here because we had an accident. So I moved the purple room upstairs, and that's the room that I'm actually in working on right now.
Right on, man. That's awesome, dude. Now, as well as somebody's here every week and also helps me on Mondays with another show, the one and only Fuzzy Belvedere, Felix the Cat, who King's putting on the spot here, saying that he needs to get himself situated with a camera, and he's putting the pressure on, saying you need to have a fancy background and everything. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there, Fuzzy. But hey, man, thanks for being here as always, dude. And where can people find you, man?
Oh, I just want to say it was awesome being on here with King. Man, I love your vantage point on things, and basically just looking at things from a different perspective than a lot of people do, and just dropping facts and some awesome nuggets as far as things to think about and stuff like that. Always love being here with you, Mav and Key. You guys are always awesome, and thanks to everybody that joined us in the chat. For people that want to hear my ramblings on Forza or other video games, you can always find me on Twitter at @fuzzy_Belvedere. You can find me on Monday with Mav here on his channel, doing tidbits, weekend review or like the new game releases, a few hidden gems that some people may have overlooked. We always try to point some of those out that are, readily available that week. And then you can find me here find me on Friday with Mr. Boomstick XL on Double Barrel Gaming for Breakfast with Boom with Mr. Boomstick, with Crispy Bomb, Dreadpool, Big Cloud Gaming, VJ, and sometimes Mr. Badbit, just going over the weekend Xbox news, and that's on 10 a.m. Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Find me here always Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on FSP. And later on tonight, within probably the next minute or two, on the Shop Podcast with PTK Blam, Pong Soul, and Centurion 1307. Like I said, this was an awesome show. Thanks for having me on. Greatly appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Fuzzy, as always. And the amazingly, one of the nicest guys out there in the world, I think, is Key. Man, love having you on the show again, guys. This show's been turning into something that I really hoped it could be, and it's because of you guys. So appreciate you as well. Key, where can everybody find you?
Definitely can find me here. Come on now, every Saturday, 6 p.m. And catch me on Twitter if you want to talk some craziness. I'm all about craziness. That's why I love talking. So definitely can find me over there on Game and Key. And got my YouTube channel, Just Key, trying to figure out some things because I've been away for work, took me away from my channel. So I'm trying to get back into the groove of walkthroughs. I'm just now playing Dying Light 2. Got a couple other games I'm going to be playing on there. And yeah, trying to get back into it. Have a show I'm working really hard on to get out by March. So hopefully that will all fall into place as well. So I got some things, even when I'm not on the stream, I'm mentally on the stream trying to figure out how to improve it. So King, man, love the discussions, man, the debates, and just at the end of the day, man, just having fun, talking about what we love, sir. Man. That's what I love, man. Just talking to people just about what we love, So you could love McDonald's, I could love Burger King, one could love Wendy's. It's just all about we love eating food. So that's right. That's what it's about, baby.
I'm hungry as hell right now.
Hey, me too, real talk. That's why I bring it up, but
now I'm trying to decide which one of those three I'm going to go get right now.
Yeah, there you go.
My wife is cooking right now.
Yeah, mine's cooking myself.
Yeah.
She opened up the door. Yeah,
no.
The door, and I could smell mine.
He can smell his. I heard her, because I'm gonna tell you right now, she puts together some stuff that I've been
seeing the pictures, man.
I've been seeing the pictures too. Hey, you got me in trouble too, man. You got me in trouble because I didn't. You did one of these to my wife, I'm like, you see this picture? Like, damn, you see this?
Nice.
I get that head turn. So what you trying to say?
Great.
But no, hey, I definitely appreciate chopping it up with you. This was fun, man. I loved it. I love it. This is fun. So
I'm glad you showed me that sneaker at the end.
Yeah. You'll see it on King's shelf next week, probably.
No, actually.
Hey, do an unboxing and put it together. Tell some stories.
Listen, I'm working on some stuff, and like I was telling Mav in the green room, the way I'm going to do KOS, I'm going to do KOS a little bit different. I know in this financial crunch right now, people don't have $1,600 for a statue, even without the financial crunch. My thing is I'm trying to share my passion with everybody. So I've partnered with a couple of my good friends in Singapore because I'm an XM distributor from through a subsidiary in Singapore. So if they purchase statues through me, they get to them 3-day drop ship if you're looking for XM Studio statues. For those that can't, the new way that I do KOS, you're going to be able to get pops. You're going to be able to get comic books. You're going to be able to get sideshow stuff. You're going to be able to get all types of statues and stuff, maybe some PVC stuff, maybe some merch that I actually get from other sponsors like Microsoft or whatever. This stuff is going to be in a fun way that's going to revolutionize how we interact with YouTube. So I'm just trying to get everybody into the cool stuff, and on board with the passion that we got. Just trying to bring us a little bit closer together and have a little bit more in common.
Heck yeah, man. I love it, dude. Nothing wrong with sharing joy and love for the things that you're interested in, your hobbies, right? Like that's what it's all about. That's why we're called Fun Speculations. It brings the fun to the discussion of everything that we love and what we spend our time actually doing, right? So appreciate you guys here. Chat, again, you guys are amazing. And we'll have another awesome show coming at you next week with Fun Pop on Wednesday, PM in the PM on Thursday with Pong Soul. We got Xbox Ultimate next Friday, and FSP will be back again next Saturday. Check out these shows on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and more. And hey, for all of you watching on replay, I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. It greatly helps us grow. And appreciate you guys. Thank you, and have a good one. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Much love. Y'all be safe.